welcome back to Stacy's Kitchen. Tonight I'm going to be making a creamy mushroom chicken over a crispy seasoned oven baked potatoes. To start things off, I'm going to get my potatoes ready. I have some small baby potatoes that I'm going to cut into bite-sized pieces into either halves or fourths depending on the size of them. I don't need to make it exactly perfect. This is the real world and we don't deal in perfection. But just go ahead and give them a quick, rough cuts. All right. I did some up ahead, but roughly this is what it's going to look like. To that, I'm going to add some olive oil. And I'm going to add in my spice mixture. I like to make this up ahead and keep it in my pantry so that on a busy weeknight, I can just pull it out. I know it's already mixed up, it's thrown together, put it over whatever I'm gonna cook, and I don't have to worry about it. It just saves me time in the kitchen on a busy night. So, what's in here? Great question. I have some kosher salt. I will put the listings of the exact amounts down in the comments, but roughly 2 tablespoons of kosher salt, about a tablespoon of paprika, a half tablespoon of smoked paprika, a tablespoon of granulated onion, half a tablespoon of granulated garlic, and a teaspoon of dried thyme. So, and you can smell when you add that smoked paprika in there, it gives it a little bit of heat as well as just a really enticing, smoky kind of aroma. So I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle some of this onto my potatoes. Grab a spoon, forgot to grab a spoon, must be Monday. And give this a quick toss. All right, just to evenly coat the potatoes. To this, I'm gonna go ahead and pour my potatoes onto a sheet pan that I have covered with aluminum foil. I don't know about you, but I do not enjoy washing sheet pans, but I don't mind throwing away aluminum foil when I'm done. So I've grabbed a smaller sheet pan. Depends, of course, on the size of potatoes that you've got. I've sprayed it with some cooking spray. And I'm going to put my potatoes over. Spread them out so that everybody gets equal oven radiation time. Everybody gets some color. All right, make sure you get all of that goodness on them. All right, good. Okay, get rid of that. We're gonna throw this into a 400-degree oven for about 20-25 minutes or until they're soft. And it's gonna go and we're gonna forget about it. Now, on to the chicken. Okay, so with grocery prices being what they are these days, I don't know about you, but I am looking for ways that I can kind of stretch out my dollars because let's face it, going to the grocery store these days is depressing. Everything is so expensive. So what I've gone ahead and purchased, because they were on sale, is some boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Not only are they delicious, personally, I like them way better than chicken breast. They're very flavorful. And if you buy them with the bone, it takes 2 seconds to cut it out, or you can buy them boneless, which saves you a bunch of time. I'm gonna grab my pan, and I've set up a little breading station here. I have a couple of eggs beaten into a bowl with a little tablespoon or 2 of water. And then for my station, for my dredge, I have a cup of flour, a half a cup of almond flour because I really like that texture. I've got about 2 tablespoons, no, about a tablespoon or so, of kosher salt, a tablespoon of granulated onion, half a tablespoon of granulated garlic, a teaspoon of dried thyme, and I've gone ahead, also, and half a cup of parmesan cheese, grated, because it's delicious. So I've stirred that all together so you get a pretty good breading station. I'm gonna go ahead and use another kitchen helper on a Monday when I don't feel like is your kitchen gloves. It's just way easier. You don't have to be bothered with messy hands and fingers. I'm gonna use one on my right hand, which is weird because I'm left-handed, but that's another story. Take my chicken, all right, grab a piece, dip it in my egg wash. Okay. And throw it into my breading. Right. And some people are super good at being neat with this. I'm not one of those people. I try, but it doesn't usually work out that way. So go ahead and make sure that it's coated evenly. You don't want a ton of breading on it. There's no need for that. But just go ahead and get pretty even coverage. I'm popping this one onto a sheet pan, and I'll explain why in just a minute. Okay, that wasn't too bad. I didn't even use my glove. Let's try our second piece. I have 4 here. I've already done about, I don't know, 5 of them that I have cooking behind me. We'll look into that in just a minute. All right, so it's quick and easy. You just want to make sure that your breading is even. You've got that egg wash on there to make sure that everything adheres so it's not slipping off. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and coat this one. And I'll stop after this one just for the sake of time, because I know watching me bread chicken is probably a little mundane. We're going to pop that onto here. Now, I've showed you 2 different ways. You could go ahead and take this, if you're trying to be a little bit maybe healthier, and pop it into the oven at 350 or 400, because you've already got the potatoes in there, for maybe 20 minutes or so, depending on how big they are. Again, we always want chicken to be at 165 and no less when we're eating it. That doesn't mean, it doesn't take into account carryover cooking, so you want to make sure to take it out at maybe 161, 162, because that's, as it's sitting, it's going to finish cooking a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to push this out of the way, because I want to show you what I have had cooking on the stove. So what I did instead, I wanted to make it kind of a one-pot meal, because it's the weeknight. One-pot wonders are fabulous in my book. And to be honest, this is a 1.5 pot, maybe a sheet pan, because I did the sheet pan for the potatoes. Let's not forget that. But what I've had cooking on the stove is, and it's heavy, I've got my chicken in here, as well as, and this is where that, woo, look at that steam. This is where that sauce is going to come into play. Now, if you were cooking your chicken in the oven, you would just go ahead and take a skillet and add a finely minced shallot, okay, step over here, about 4 healthy cloves of garlic. You can either mince them if you're a gadget person, you like those little gadgets. I'm a knife person, so either I'll mince it by hand with my knife and a cutting board, or I just go ahead and put it in slices, because I like slices. Maybe it's a Italian thing. Anyway, so you're going to put in a little bit, about a tablespoon or 2 of olive oil in the bottom of your skillet. Put your skillet on medium heat. Put the shallots on, let them get nice and soft. If you don't have shallots and you want to use maybe half of a small onion, that'll work too. Your garlic, after your shallots have started to get soft, put in your garlic continually on medium heat, no more than that, because we really, let's just say, no one likes the taste of burnt garlic. No good. To that, you would add in about another maybe tablespoon or so of oil after the shallots and garlic are soft. Add in your breaded chicken. Let it get brown, maybe crank the heat just a little bit to 7, medium, high. Let it get brown, flip it over, brown the other side. Once it's gotten a good color to it, you're gonna add in half a cup of bone broth, half a cup of sherry. That would be great. I don't know if I'd do marsala, because it's gonna get sweet and it would have kind of a funky taste against the smoked paprika. White wine is my personal favorite, because I like that crispness of the lemony. It tastes like a nice, anyway, you could add that in. And then I added 16 ounces of mushrooms and about 2 tablespoons of butter. In addition, you're going to add 1 tablespoon of, don't do that, a teaspoon of dried thyme. The very last, as you pull it off or towards the end, you can see that you got the sauce. I don't know if you can see that there, but I'm going to add about 2/3 of a cup of cream to really get that richness going. Okay, and I'm going to pop this back on the heat just for a couple of minutes, because I want that cream to incorporate and it to thicken while I'm getting my potatoes to serve and get my plate ready. So I'm gonna pop this back on, hopefully, without incident. Okay, and I'm putting it on medium, medium-high, just keep an eye on it. All right, grab my plate. Grab something to scoop my delicious potatoes with. All right, so I've got my standard plate, my potatoes. I did some up ahead. They are here, they are golden brown, they are delicious, and they've got just a little bit of a crust on them, which is gonna be a nice contrast to the chicken, which will be creamy and delicious. Okay, so you can see we've got a nice crispy potatoes there, yum! Put that down. And waiting on my sauce to come up, and I wish I could have my little thing so you can see, but it's starting to bubble and do great things. So we're gonna give it just another minute or two. In the meantime, if you were cooking your chicken separately, you would pop it in the oven, like I said, for maybe 20, 25 minutes, depending on how big your chicken thighs are. Just use your meat thermometer and make sure that you have cooked them thoroughly before you take them out. You would cook your sauce and your mushrooms and everything separate, and then at the end, you could just put your chicken in and combine it either way. Personally, as I said, I like to do it all in one pan because it's just easier and it's less mess. All right, I can hear this bubbling. Let me grab something to serve that delicious sauce with. We don't want to you don't want to boil it because again, you're using cream, so it doesn't take on a lovely texture if you overcook it. So here we go. Pan is here, plate is here. Whew. All right, so I'm gonna grab one of my chicken thighs. You can see they are golden and delicious. And some of my great cream and mushroom sauce. Now, like I said, if you wanted to continue reducing this, you certainly could. And wait for it to get just a little bit thicker. Either way, you could also, if you didn't want to do potatoes, you could certainly serve this with a pasta. It would be great with a penne or a thin spaghetti, something like that along those lines. So here we go. Yum! I would serve this with a great looking salad or maybe some broccolini, personal favorite of mine, that you could steam up with a little bit of lemon zest and some olive oil just to finish it, to kind of bring those flavors together. All right, I'm gonna grab a fork, try it out. Got my trusty fork and knife. Try a little bit of that potato first, and you can hear, I wish you could hear a better sound quality. You can hear that crispiness of the potato. See, it's all golden and yummy. Yum. And then the chicken. And again, when you're cutting into those thighs, listen, it's almost impossible to overcook them. So just don't stress. Relax about it. I've got a little bit of my cream and wine and bone broth sauce. It's really hot. But totally worth it. And it's just that easy. All right. Okay. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it, share it, and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye.